everyone. This is Robert with Exploring the Local Life. I wanted to come to you real quick and talk about a subject that Jessica covered about 9 days ago. She was discussing what do you do when you want to travel full time but your spouse doesn't. Now, she wasn't reflecting me. I enjoy what we're doing, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about how we make it work with my job being stationary, a job that I must go into the office, have my ID, swipe at the door, go inside, turn on the lights, and start doing my job. So I'm just going to go ahead and chat about how that works and how we get together every few days, and then I got to come back to Atlanta. So right now, Jessica has been in Colorado, and just last week we positioned to Texas, just a few days ago. So how did that work? Well, I was here in Atlanta at my day job. I work 4 days on and 4 days off for a small airline here. And about the second day into my job, I start looking at airline bookings to see if there is a possibility that I might be able to ride for free. Pilots, dispatchers, and flight attendants have agreements with each other's airlines. We, being a small airline, basically have maybe not even a handful of agreements. And I can look and get a general idea if there's a chance that they'll have a seat open for me. If that fails, I can try to jump seat as an aircraft dispatcher. It's a professional courtesy pilots and dispatchers of one airline extend to another. But I still have to go out to the airport, go wait and hope that there's going to be a seat for me. And from there, I have to get on the airplane and fly out to, last time, Denver. From Denver, then it was a 3 hour, 4 hour drive to Salida, Colorado. And then a couple days later, we took off in the RV and headed for Texas. So every 4 days, I have to get on an airplane, go out to Colorado, or in this case, just 2 days ago, had to drive to Dallas Love Airfield, a 2 hour drive with Jessica and the kids to get on an airplane and come back to Atlanta. Now, is not always free. For example, we've probably spent close to $2,000 in airline tickets in the last 3 months of doing this because when there's not a guaranteed seat and I have to be at work, I am buying a full fare last minute airline ticket. And let me tell you, that's no fun. Anybody that's ever had to travel last minute at an emergency, anybody who's ever traveled on business and knows that you can't always book that appointment until the last minute, you're going to be spending some real dollars. So that's part of one of the challenges of us RVing full time with Jessica and the kids being anywhere in the lower 48 states. We've been doing this to Texas, Alabama, Florida, Arizona. We traveled through Utah, didn't have to fly in and out of Utah. And then Colorado for the last, again, 4 months, I think back in April, we started, back in April, we positioned from Georgia, North Georgia, down to Florida. So Jessica could get the kids' appointments done. So the kids can get their medical stuff, their dental appointments. She can go for her checkups, and I can get my stuff done as well. And I was driving back and forth. It's an 8 hour drive from Atlanta to Central Florida. And we stayed at Jessica's parents' property. And but then after that, we were heading out to Texas for the filming of the RV Nomads movie. If you haven't checked it out, go to search for Epic Nomad TV, ENTV, and you'll learn all about the Epic Nomads RV Nomads movie. Excuse me. But once we left Florida, now I was driving to Alabama. And the thing is, since I'm doing the driving, I flew down to Orlando. Got in the travel trailer, took everybody to Alabama, and then we had to rent a car in Alabama. So I had to drive a rental car for 5-6 hours from Alabama all the way to Atlanta. That cost money. Worked for 4 days, drove back to Alabama, turned in the car, and then we went from Alabama to Shreveport, Louisiana, and then finally made it to Wellington, Texas, where I had to take vacation time so we could be there for the movie. So when one spouse is traveling all the time in the RV or going to different locations or being left in different locations, the other, me, has to go back to work. So what do the kids think about that? Well, we haven't asked them directly about it, but I can tell you we have some really, really sweet reunions. I really miss my kids and my wife, and we use all the technology at our disposal, and I guess we can discuss that too. I apologize if you're doing any comments. I can't see them. Let me some messages. All right, let's see if I can see some messages then. Anyhow, so with the kids, it's great to get together with them, and I miss Jessica, and we all have big hugs and a nice time when we get back together. But then it becomes the same day to day type stuff. Hey, thanks, David. Um, we do our best when we are together. I come in the first night usually, and I'm just wiped out for the next 12 hours. And Jessica then gets time to do her job because I can look after the kids, or she can do it more generally without as much stress. If she tells me, Robert, I gotta work, you need to take care of the kids, or I need to cook, and yeah, it can be stressful, yes. Um, but we're making it work. Now, once I'm done with the kids, it's finding an airport, coming back. Or the kids and Jessica, it's a matter of finding an airport and coming back. Um, so, yeah, Islander Sun, it is very busy, and that's the thing. It's now been April, May, June. We're in the middle of July, so 3.5 months of doing this, and it does get a little bit tiring, especially when your flight runs late. Getting into Atlanta a couple weeks ago, I wasn't going to get into Atlanta until 1 in the morning, and my shift usually starts at 6, and that's not a good thing because as an aircraft dispatcher, I have to get my required rest. So I had to, knowing that I was going to have a delay in advance, I gave my boss a warning. Hey, boss. Hey, Fernando. I'm not going to make it. My flight's going to get in late. Um, can you cover for me? And actually, before I didn't even have to say that, my boss said, hey, man, don't worry about it. Come in at noon. You're good. And so I also have to be cognizant that this travel also puts some stress on my fellow coworkers, on my boss. I don't want anybody filling in for me. One of the cardinal sins in aviation is that if you're off using your flight benefits and that causes you to miss work, you can get those flight benefits suspended, and you don't ever want that because that's part of the benefits of working with an airline. So it's just one of those things that we're just making it work, whether it's buying airline tickets or whether it's getting a rental car. We try to plan as much as we can in advance. For example, um, if I am flying somewhere that I know is going to be booked, we can buy a ticket in advance and save a couple $100. So it's been a good thing. Now, we've been full timing now almost 3 years. We started out in October of 2012. Actually, I think we finalized the purchase, not 2012, 2015, excuse me. Um, September 2015, we bought the travel trailer, and then we moved up to Atlanta area in October of that year. And pretty much we've been stationary other than vacations and other than the 6 month sabbatical that we took, and we went out to Tennessee, Virginia, Maine, all over New York. So this is something we've just been trying out now. And we're now coming back from West. We're back in Texas. In the next week or two, we're going to be back in Florida. Back in Georgia. So the stress level of all this travel back and forth, back and forth, back and forth is going to come down. One of the great benefits, and this was not planned and actually is by chance, is that right now I'm in my buddy Dave's apartment. He's in Chicago, and we work almost opposite shifts, so I only see him for 2 nights, but he's been gracious enough to let me stay in his place. Um, so throughout this time, I've been able to come to Atlanta and have a place to stay, and then I just fly out again. Um, all right. Former flight attendant Cricket Joy. Yeah, flight benefits while traveling full time is awesome, but the job can be interesting. Um, how did moving into a travel trailer make our lives simpler? We actually found that having a house and having to take care of it and having to mow the lawn and trim the palm trees are beautiful. Let me tell you about palm trees. Palm trees are beautiful until you have 5 of them surrounding your house and overhanging your roof and gutters. And just try to cut those branches all by yourself. Not only is it very dangerous, those branches are going to cut you, and there is just so much plant matter that just comes out of nowhere, and ants and bugs love to live in palm trees. So yeah, that's a mess. Anyhow, long story short, um, the travel trail actually did simplify things for us. It was just a matter of we were always having too much space, too many things to clean, and we were like turning into pack rats. When we cleaned up our act and moved into the travel trailer, it took the whole month of getting ready in order to get rid of things, downsize, get family to help us out. Um, and it was just a matter of it's lightened our like a load came off of our shoulders. So it's been a beautiful thing for us. Somebody asked, Theodore, Yella, I cannot do my job remotely. My job with an airline, if it was like a sales job, I've actually considered talking to my company about getting in on the sales side of the house, just so that I can travel and work remotely with the kids and Jessica. But my job as an aircraft dispatcher is mandated that it has to occur at an operations control center. And seriously, I can't be on the road on a data line and monitoring a flight. It's not cool. It is still possible to pack rat in an RV. That's right. That's right. And being in an RV, it is a constant cycle of watching out what you've purchased and what have you brought into the RV, what have you taken out of the RV. So it's always a continuous game of making sure, are we going to be overweight? Are we continuing to put more stuff on board? Um, and then what's under the front storage? We were given six volt batteries. Fantastic. Now, when we boondock, our electricity will last that much longer. We haven't figured out how to integrate all six batteries. We have two 6 volt batteries that we've hooked up together to make a 12 volt, which is what our travel trailer is. It's a 12 volt travel trailer. But now, when we're at boondocking, the lights can stay on longer, the heat can stay on longer without using the generator. So it's a really been great. I'm going a little bit off topic now, so yeah. James Biggs sounds like a great episode of Wife Swap. My wife wants stationery as well. I'm sure Jessica is going to have something to say about that. It's raining in Kennesaw, Georgia. But I just wanted to touch base that it is a bit rough, but we make it happen. And this has been, again, for the last 3.5 months that we've been doing this. Jessica's out on the road, and I'm flying back and forth to work. At some point, Jessica said that I was going to be able to stay here for a week or two in a row, so I could get some rest, but that's never happened. Yeah, this is Jessica chiming in. If anyone's interested, we will have an entire series on Epic Nomad TV called Exploring the Free Life. That's the working title, where you can watch us move from a stationary job to maybe something else. We'll see how it goes. We're living our life right now, and that's part of what we do here on YouTube. We share our lives with you guys, show that it can be done. Typically, we are semi-stationary in North Georgia, but we've given it an all-out shot here. And I know Jessica's been loving being on the side of a mountain in Colorado. We have friends in Arizona. We were in Cottonwood, and we were basically on the side of a little cliff. It was us and on a travel trailer on the side of a cliff next to our friends. We went through Monument Valley, Utah. It was just fantastic. Being on the road has been highly rewarding. So, and I know it was mentioned earlier that it sounds a little bit stressful, but it's totally been worth the reward. I'm looking forward to having a little bit of time in Florida, however, and putting my feet up every now and then, and maybe sipping a drink with an umbrella in it. But RVing has changed our life. It's really brought our family into a different way of seeing the world. We think the kids are having a ball. And for now, we're going to keep doing it. Not we, I can't say we, right, Jess? I can say that we did look at a couple fifth wheels and travel trailers just to get an idea of what was out there. But I've already started thinking about what would our next vehicle be. Would it be a travel trailer? Would it be a small fifth wheel? We want to make sure, however, that whatever it is that we get, we can be comfortable going boondocking in it. Our travel trailer, our 26 DBH Forest River Gray Wolf travel trailer, it's a bit of a low rider. So when we're out there boondocking, sometimes we're really worried that we're going to scrape and rip out the plumbing. But we're always looking to see have been now looking to see what would our next rig be and seeing what our requirements are going to be at that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this off just in case we get some lightning and it fries my electronics. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any questions, if you haven't left anything in the comment, get a haircut. Well, Jessica likes the hair. You're going to have to fight her about that. I'm going to be shaving tonight, though. What was I saying? Yes, follow us on YouTube. We're here to share our experiences. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and And if you have questions about the lifestyle, is it right for you? If you have any specific questions that we can answer, please let us know. And again, we can only speak to our experience and what we have heard from others and people that we've met on the road. Yeah, Jessica wants the hair to be long. I don't know. I don't know. I like it right now, but I guess to a certain point. So I'm going to start signing off here, unless anyone has any other questions. Jessica, do you have anything for me? um, I'm going to go ahead and she likes scruffy nerf herders. Thank you, baby. Um, we have friends that have a mohawk. That's a good thing. But sorry, this rain is really impressive, and I like weather. I do that as weather is all I look at as a dispatcher all day long. So, anyways, thank you very much for watching. Check us out on social media. Check out driftandamble.com if you're looking for locally printed, in-store, cool stuff from a little store in Salida, Colorado. Driftandamble.com. That's a plug. I like them. We like them, right, Jess? Also, follow Geo Astro RV. That's John and Brenda Nijedlo. They have an entire rig set up to do telescope viewings, and they are going around the different national parks. I think they're up in Teddy Roosevelt National Park right now doing some great work with their telescopes, a public outreach program. Anyhow, oh no, I love me some thunder. I gotta tell you that. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try to figure out what button on my screen I push to end the live. That's not it. All right, so here we go. Bye.